Hello, welcome to Laws 4200. This is going to be a very quick video just to introduce you to the course a little bit and explain where we're going to go from here over the next three lectures. My name is Sam Schweisberg, by the way. I teach the course, as you probably figured out. And I'd just like to remind all of you, first of all, that you really need to look at that course outline and make it your roadmap or GPS, I guess, for the course, because it's going to direct you how to succeed in the course, what all the deadlines are, what we'll be covering, etc. So please do be sure to familiarize yourself with the course outline. You will find it for ease of reference under course administration, and then once you click on that to the left, you'll see course details, and you go in there and you will see the course outline posted there. Now, in terms of the readings and the videos that I've posted, just a quick explanation. Great, my dog is bothering me. One moment, please. Get in. So the free trade paper is simply a summary of, I think, what most of you have probably covered in previous courses and some of the prerequisites. It's a refresher, and for those of you who, for whatever reason, haven't come across this stuff, it's an introduction to some of the concepts. Effectively, what you'll see, of course, is that we first go over the economic principles that have for many, many years, going back a couple hundred years, have underpinned the rationale for free trade and how it produces economic benefits, primarily through the concepts of comparative advantage and absolute advantage. So that is why I, in fact, included a video on that, which is very well done, I think, and will further go over those concepts. It's not my video, it's a video that another professor has done elsewhere. It's well done. And then the paper also explores the two fundamental principles that underlie most free trade agreements, the concepts of most favored nation and national treatment. So have a look at those. So the idea here was to lay the context for what the economic rationale has always been for free trade and why it's generally something that most economists believe is a positive thing, notwithstanding some of the negatives, which are also covered in the paper, which generally can be managed, in my opinion, through appropriate regulation, where, for example, you can take care of income inequity that may be caused by free trade through appropriate income redistribution, through the taxation system, as well as the government or state-sponsored retraining for people who lose their jobs. I won't dwell on that, but though there are negatives, and there's a rationale that is in place, an economic rationale that has stood the test of time by and large. From what I can tell, which underpins free trade and which has largely been supportive of free trade through the years, which is why we've had it for as long as we've had it. But there's a new perspective that's been emerging over the years, particularly in the United States, but elsewhere as well, where the negatives of free trade are having been seen to outweigh the positives, particularly because the United States, in its position as the provider of the world reserve currency in the form of the US dollar, suffers, in their view, in the view of many in the United States and elsewhere, negative consequences that outweigh the positives, or have certainly started to outweigh the positives, particularly the negative trade balance, which is viewed as a very significant negative. So the White House paper is posted there to put that perspective forward. And there's going to be another paper in the next lecture that will be more of an academic support of that position, but I decided to merge it with some of the other topics, also because there's only so much you can read from one lecture, and I didn't want to overwhelm you on day one. Maybe some of you feel a little overwhelmed already with what I've posted. Then, of course, I've posted, just for fun, a clip from the Colbert Show, which involves a humorous critique of what the Trump administration has done vis-a-vis free trade and its imposition of tariffs. Then the Peterson Institute paper is more of a somewhat more academic critique. And finally, we've got the two foreign affairs papers, which offer varying levels of criticism of the Trump administration moves. And I address your attention to the Adeyemo article, I think, in particular, because that's the one that goes over a bit of the history of free trade, starting with the Bretton Woods Agreement back in at the end of World War II, followed by the second significant development in world trade and world finance when President Nixon took the United States off the gold standard, and now into the third phase with Donald Trump. And the other article for Foreign Affairs magazine, which I've produced in the course materials, is the one by Farrell, where he describes how, in fact, the use of the U.S. Reserve has been weaponized in some ways through the imposition of sanctions, which are very effective since the United States controls the SWIFT clearing system, which is the international or global clearing system for transactions. And so through that mechanism, because transactions are produced in U.S. currency, has given the United States a lot of geopolitical and financial clout in the world. So that's basically it. I just wanted to give you a bit of an overview as to what we'll be covering in Lecture 1 and how it really will take, I think, the first 3 lectures to be able to pull everything together and to contrast differing positions and see the strong points and the weak points of both sets of arguments. I try to approach this in a non-ideological fashion. I try not to be overly and unfairly, in particular, critical of either sides of the argument, because, as in most things in life, there's usually some truth to both sides of an argument. It's just a question, I suppose, if somebody is more right than the other party. So I am open to all kinds of viewpoints on this, as I suggest in the course outline. I welcome novel thinking. I'm not here to push my agenda. I'm here to listen to your agenda. And hopefully, if you express yourself in a logical, evidence-based, and considered fashion, you get the high marks most of you, if not all of you, are hoping for. So that's it. I'm now going to be sitting at my desk waiting for any communications you wish to make. If somebody wants to contact me by Zoom or by FaceTime, because I have an iPhone or whatever, just text me or phone me, or you can, sometimes people still use telephones. Text me, or email's not so good. Text me or arrange for an appointment if you want during the next bit of time. Thanks so much. I really hope you enjoy the course. Take care.